Yes, a very good morning to all of you and a warm welcome to the CA Intermediate Strategic Management full syllabus batch. I hope audio video is all good. यस आप मुझे सुन पा रहे हो देख पा रहे हो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है ऑल गुड ओके राइट तो कैसे लग रहा है अब सीए फाउंडेशन क्लियर हो गया अब जैसे मतलब 10th 12th हो गई फिर उसके बाद सीए फाउंडेशन हो गया तो ऐसे अभी सीए इंटर में आके है ना ग्रुप 1 ग्रुप 2 की तैयारी ऐसे अकाउंट्स पढ़ रहे हो टैक्स पढ़ रहे हो लॉ इकोनॉमिक्स ऐसे बहुत सारे है ना सब्जेक्ट्स एकदम ऐसे फाइनेंस के फील्ड में अपने आप को एकदम डेवलप कर रहे हो बहुत सारा नॉलेज यू आर गेनिंग ओवर देयर तो उसी में एक सब्जेक्ट है स्ट्रेटेजिक मैनेजमेंट और जैसे मैं सोच रही थी कि ये सब्जेक्ट कितना फ्लेक्सिबल है ना जैसे ओल्ड सिलेबस में इसको बोला कि ठीक है यार तुम ईआईएस के साथ है ना जो एंटरप्राइज इंफॉर्मेशन सिस्टम का सब्जेक्ट था उसके साथ एडजस्ट कर लो तो इसने उसके साथ एडजस्ट कर लिया तो पहले था ईआईएस एंड एसएम है ना दैट वाज देयर फिर उसके बाद ईआईएस तो सिलेबस से निकल गया क्योंकि उन्होंने बोला कि प्रैक्टिकल नॉलेज ज्यादा जरूरी है थियोरी के नॉलेज से तो अब फिर क्वेश्चन रहा कि अब एसएम के सब्जेक्ट को के स्ट्रेटेजिक मैनेजमेंट के सब्जेक्ट को किसके साथ जोड़ा जाए तो पहले एफएम और इकोनॉमिक्स फॉर फाइनेंस होता था तो फिर इकोनॉमिक्स फॉर फाइनेंस को इंटर से हटा के उसे फाउंडेशन में ही पूरा शिफ्ट कर दिया और फिर अब इंटर में नया कॉम्बिनेशन बन गया है एफएम एंड एसएम and so it's like finance minister and some another minister something like that fm and sm right but we have financial management and we also have the strategic management तो ये fm sm ऐसे लगता है कि जैसे दाल चावल का कॉम्बिनेशन है ना जैसे सब्जी रोटी का कॉम्बिनेशन है ना एक एकदम प्रैक्टिकल सब्जेक्ट जहाँ पे फॉर्मूलाज वगैरह और सारे प्रॉब्लम्स वगैरह सॉल्व करना है पेपर में 50 मार्क्स जो fm है और sm एकदम थियोरी मतलब लाइक इट्स लाइक नॉर्थ पोल एंड साउथ पोल दोनों का इक्वेटर पे द जॉइनिंग का द सेंट्रल पॉइंट इज कमिंग इन द सब्जेक्ट टुगेदर व्हिच इज एफएम एंड एसएम ओके तो कोई सब्जेक्ट जिनको प्रैक्टिकल बहुत अच्छा जाता है तो 100 मार्क्स का प्रैक्टिकल थियोरी अगर नहीं ठीक से आता है तो 100 मार्क्स का थियोरी ये कैसे बैलेंस सब्जेक्ट है ना कि 50 मार्क्स का प्रैक्टिकल है 50 मार्क्स का थियोरी है तो ऑब्वियसली अपना जो क्लास है वो थियोरी सब्जेक्ट जो एसएम है स्ट्रैटेजिक मैनेजमेंट के डिस्कशन के लिए है तो पहले हम लोग समझेंगे कि ये सब्जेक्ट के चैप्टर्स क्या है इसका पेपर का पैटर्न कैसे होता है कैसे टाइप के क्वेश्चंस आते हैं और फिर उसके बाद हम लोग चैप्टर नंबर 1 की शुरुआत करेंगे राइट क्योंकि ये इंग्लिश बैच है तो इसीलिए मैं थोड़ा हिंदी और ज्यादा इंग्लिश ऐसे कॉम्बिनेशन में आपको पढ़ाऊंगी जब हम कोई कंसेप्ट डिस्कस कर रहे हैं तो मे बी वहां पे मैं हिंदी यूज कर सकती हूँ बट जहां हम पार्ट डिस्कस कर रहे हैं यानी कि वी आर गोइंग इनटू द टेक्निकलिटीज ऑफ द सब्जेक्ट जो कि हमें वो टर्म्स पता होना चाहिए एग्जाम में लिखने के लिए तो तभी हम लोग कोई हिंदी का प्रयोग नहीं करेंगे और बाय द वे पता है मतलब अभी क्लास शुरू करने के पहले मैंने ऐसे थोड़ा गूगल किया कि स्ट्रैटेजिक मैनेजमेंट को हिंदी में क्या कहते हैं मतलब ऐसी शुद्ध हिंदी है वहां लिखा था स्ट्रैटेजिक मैनेजमेंट मीनिंग इन हिंदी कूटनीतिक प्रबंधन कूटनीतिक और अगर तुम सिर्फ स्ट्रैटेजी का मीनिंग देखोगे अगर हिंदी में तो स्ट्रैटेजी का मीनिंग है रणनीति है ना जैसे वो जोधा अकबर या जो भी हिस्टोरिकल मूवीज रहती है उसमें ऐसे षड्यंत्र रचा जाता है रणनीति होती है क्या बोलते हैं वॉर जीतने का या जो भी लड़ाई है उसे जीतने का वैसे यहाँ पे अभी हमें कंपनी जीतना है अपने बिजनेस को जीतना है और उसके लिए हमें जरूरत होती है स्ट्रैटेजिक मैनेजमेंट की ओके और ढेरों मतलब इतने सारे प्रैक्टिकल एग्जाम्पल्स हो सकते हैं सब्जेक्ट के रिलेटेड लाइक तुम लाइफ बॉय का एग्जाम्पल ले लो या नाइकी या नोकिया या वीडियोकॉन बीपीएल एप्पल मतलब हर एक कंपनी का बिजनेस स्ट्रैटेजी हम लोग इस सब्जेक्ट में एनालाइज करेंगे तो जैसे जैसे सिचुएशन आती जाएगी वील स्टार्ट यूजिंग द एग्जांपल्स ऑफ डिफरेंट कंपनीज टू अंडरस्टैंड द सब्जेक्ट बेटर है ना तो ऑल गुड बढ़िया यस बिल्कुल अपने नोट्स वगैरह सामने लेके नोटबुक वगैरह है ना जो भी अगर हमारी नोट्स आप तक नहीं पहुंची हो तो इंस्टीट्यूट का स्टडी मटेरियल फॉर द टाइम बीइंग आई होप ऑल दैट कंटेंट इज इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू राइट तो शुरू करें यस ऑल गुड एवरीवन ओके तो जैसे स्ट्रैटेजिक मैनेजमेंट का ओल्ड सिलेबस में हमने देखा था कि देयर यूज टू बी 8 चैप्टर्स, मतलब जो मई 24 के पहले का जो सिलेबस था वहां पे 8 चैप्टर्स थे। फिर उन्होंने बोला कि अरे थोड़ा स्टूडेंट्स का लोड कम कर देते हैं, तो अब स्ट्रैटेजिक मैनेजमेंट में आपको सिर्फ 5 चैप्टर्स पढ़ने हैं। ओके राइट, आप बोलते हो मैम आप सिर्फ 5, तो सिर्फ या टोटल 5, जिस तरीके से भी आपको उसे समझना है, देयर आर 5 चैप्टर्स टू बी स्टडीड। पहला चैप्टर हमेशा सो वी आर डिस्कसिंग रिगार्डिंग दी CA इंटर SM, राइट? व्हाट इज SM? इट इज द स्ट्रैटेजिक मैनेजमेंट। क्या बताया मैंने आपको? इसका हिंदी का मीनिंग क्या है? कूटनीति, बंधन, रणनीति। ओके राइट, तो ये जो सीए इंटर में जो स्ट्रैटेजिक मैनेजमेंट एसएम का सब्जेक्ट है, इसमें जो अपना फर्स्ट चैप्टर है वो ऑब्वियसली आपको फाउंडेशन में एसएम का कोई डिस्कशन नहीं है, इसीलिए जब इंटर में इसका डिस्कशन शुरू हुआ तो जब पहला चैप्टर है इंट्रोडक्शन टू स्ट्रैटेजिक मैनेजमेंट, है ना, इंट्रोडक्शन, राइट? तो ऑब्वियसली इंट्रोडक्शन में आएगा व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ मैनेजमेंट, व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ स्ट्रैटेजी, देन व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ स्ट्रैटेजिक मैनेजमेंट। फिर आपको पता है कि जब भी कुछ थियरी आती है तो उसमें पक्का क्या होता है, जब भी हम लोग कोई कंसेप्ट पढ़ते हैं तो उस कंसेप्ट के रिलेटेड आगे क्या डिस्कशन होता है? स्ट्रैटेजिक मैनेजमेंट के व्हाट आर दी, आई थिंक यू कैन गेस इट, स्ट्रैटेजिक मैनेजमेंट व्हाट आर दी, है ना, गुण और अवगुण, what are the advantages and what are the limitations, what are the disadvantages. Okay right, so what are the advantages and what are the disadvantages of the strategic management. Okay, then after that what are the strategic levels in the organization, है ना, कि कौन से levels पे business में strategy management किया जाता है. So that is our chapter number 1, which is introduction to the strategic management, right? So initial first chapter. Then after that we have the strategic analysis, right? We have the strategic analysis. अब आप strategic analysis किसका करोगे? Strategic analysis of the external environment, है ना, एक्सटर्नल एनवायरमेंट। एंड ऑब्वियसली फिर आप गेस कर सकते हो चैप्टर नंबर 3 क्या होगा? स्ट्रैटेजिक एनालिसिस ऑफ द इंटरनल एनवायरमेंट, राइट? सो स्ट्रैटेजिक एनालिसिस ऑफ द एक्सटर्नल एनवायरमेंट, और फिर उसके बाद स्ट्रैटेजिक एनालिसिस ऑफ द इंटरनल एनवायरमेंट। तो जो एंटिटी जिस एनवायरमेंट में ऑपरेट करती है, जो भी बिजनेस फैक्टर्स है, पॉलिटिकल फैक्टर्स है, लीगल फैक्टर्स है, टेक्नोलॉजिकल फैक्टर्स है, वो सारा एक्सटर्नल एनवायरमेंट है। और फिर एंटिटी के रिलेटेड जो भी स्ट्रेंथ्स, वीकनेस, अपॉर्चुनिटीज, थ्रेट्स है, जो भी एंटिटी का इंटरनल मैनेजमेंट है, दैट इज द इंटरनल एनवायरमेंट। तो ऐसे 2 चैप्टर्स है, लाइक दैट वी हैव द 2 चैप्टर्स, स्ट्रैटेजिक एनालिसिस एक्सटर्नल एनवायरमेंट एंड द स्ट्रैटेजिक एनालिसिस द इंटरनल एनवायरमेंट। फिर एक बार हमने एक्सटर्नल इंटरनल, तो पहले इंट्रोडक्शन पढ़ लिया, फिर उसके बाद एक्सटर्नल इंटरनल, फिर उसके बाद आफ्टर दैट वी हैव द स्ट्रैटेजिक चॉइसेस, right? We have the strategic choices, right? So in the strategic choices we have the strategic option, let's say growth expansion strategy, liquidation strategy, divestment strategy, कि अब what all strategy now apply in your business, है ना? अब आपके बिजनेस में आपके पास क्या क्या ऑप्शंस है कि आप कौन सी स्ट्रैटेजी अप्लाई कर सकते हो, दैट इज चैप्टर नंबर 4, वो है चैप्टर नंबर 4। एंड देन आफ्टर चैप्टर नंबर 5 जो है स्ट्रैटेजी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन एंड द इवैल्यूएशन, राइट? सो स्ट्रैटेजी इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, तो जो भी आपने स्ट्रैटेजिक चॉइस किया है, जो भी whatever strategy you have decided, now you need to implement the same, and obviously after implementation also you need to do the evaluation, right? So here we also study the different types of structure in an organization, like जैसे आपने सुना होगा ना, organization structure, right? So organization structure, we have the simple structure, divisional structure, multi-divisional structure, network structure, hourglass structure, matrix structure. So different types of the organization structure. जो hierarchy होती है ना, corporate hierarchy. So we study the different types of the organization structure. है ना? फिर स्ट्रैटेजिक लीडरशिप, स्ट्रैटेजिक कल्चर, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कल्चर, तो पूरा मतलब जैसे एक सब्जेक्ट में पढ़ाती हूँ दैट इज ऑडिट, तो उसमें पूरा ऑडिट 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 ऑडिट, और ये जो सब्जेक्ट है इन दिस एंटायर स्ट्रैटेजी 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 स्ट्रैटेजी। ओके, फिर जस्ट ऑन on another note, I was seeing oh, that my logo has been developed as Aarti Lahoti Audit Learning, ALAL. And coincidentally, my name and surname and then audit learning. So then I was thinking, oh my God, now I'm teaching SM also. So then, it has to change also. So I said, no, it doesn't need to change. Why it doesn't need to change? Because I thought like the moment you listen to Starbucks, and up, Starbucks, Tim Hortons, barista. The moment you listen to Starbucks, what is the first thought which comes to your mind? When you listen to Starbucks, yeah. So yes, one of the students is saying that, ma'am, please explain in English. Yeah, so I am. If I happen to say anything in Hindi also, don't worry. I will repeat the same sentence again in English also. But I want to see your replies on the chat box for the moment. Yes, tell me. The moment I tell you Starbucks, what is the first thought which comes to your mind? Yes, what is the first thought which comes to your mind? Obviously, it has to be the cappuccino, the coffee over there. But is it that in Starbucks you only get coffee? Is it so? Okay, if you go to Starbucks, you only get coffee? It is recognized for coffee, but obviously, if you go to Starbucks, they are selling the cakes and they are selling the sandwiches and the ice cream and the glass tumblers and the mugs and biscuits and everything, right? So I thought that, okay, even though if I am having my logo as Aarti Lahoti Audit Learning, I can still, teach SM also. Okay, right. So, anyways, yes, everybody, have you got an idea about the 5 chapters that we have? More or less, each chapter 10 marks. That is the weightage. And each chapter, what is the weightage? 10 marks on an average. Obviously, it can be little up and down, but mota mati, like, on a gross basis, that is the weightage. Okay? Each chapter, 10 marks weightage. Right? So, everybody, are you clear about our 5 chapters which we need to study in strategic management? One, the introduction to strategic management. Then strategic analysis, the external environment, strategic analysis, the internal environment. Then after that, a chapter on the strategic choices. And then you have the strategy implementation and the evaluation. Okay, right. Now, second part of our discussion, let us look into the format of our question paper. Right, second part of our discussion, that inter SM, right, is coming for the 50 marks in your exam. So what is the breakup of these 50 marks of the SM paper? Right, so 50 marks of the SM paper, 15 marks you have for the MCQ, right? The multiple choice question. And then the remaining 35 marks you have for the theory part of the paper, right? So 15 marks of the MCQ and 35 marks of the theory part of the paper. Is everybody clear? Yes, I am so used to starting on time. It is a bit surprising for me to see students joining a bit late. Okay, but no problem. अभी तक मैंने सिर्फ यही बताया है कि what are the chapters that we have for study in the subject, the introduction to SM, the external environment, internal environment, what are the strategic choices, and then the strategy implementation and evaluation. और अब हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं समझने की the breakup, right? Okay, what is the allocation of the marks for the SM subject? Okay, right? So 50 marks of the SM paper. So FM for 50 marks and SM for 50 marks. Okay, in that 50, 15 marks for the MCQ and 35 marks for the theory. In the 15 marks of the MCQ, you have one case study based MCQ. And a case study integrated. They give you one situation, case study, and under the case study, they give you the 5 questions of 2 marks each. Right, 5 questions of the 2 marks each. So that is the 10 marks. And then apart from that, you have the independent MCQ. So these are independent application based MCQ. Right, so independent application based MCQ, say 2 questions are of 2 marks and then the 1 question is of the 1 mark, right? So likewise, you have the 5 marks over here, right? So that's the breakup of the 15 marks, right? So 10 marks of the integrated case study and 5 marks of the independent MCQ. Right, 5 marks of the integrated is independent MCQ, right? So 5 questions and plus this 2 plus 1, so total 8 questions in the MCQ part of the paper. And 8 questions are there, जिसमें के 7 questions are of 2 marks and 1 question is of the 1. Right, so 7 questions of the 2 marks and 1 question of the 1 mark. Okay, उसके बाद जब हम 35 marks of the theory पे आते हैं, तो वहां पे you have 1 question which is question number 5. Why directly starting from question number 5? Because 1, 2, 3, 4 comes in FF. है ना, जो आपके पेपर का क्वेश्चन नंबर 1, 2, 3, 4 है वो FM में कवर्ड है. तो क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 जो है दैट इज कंपल्सरी क्वेश्चन, है ना. सो क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 इज द कंपल्सरी क्वेश्चन इन विच यू हैव द 3 क्वेश्चंस ऑफ द 5 मार्क्स ईच, सो विच इज 15 मार्क्स कंपल्सरी क्वेश्चन, right? 15 marks compulsory question. So 15 marks of MCQ, 15 marks of the theory. ये compulsory है. इसके बाद आपको है question number 6, question number 7, question number 8, in which you have the two questions of the 5 marks each. Right? 2 questions of the 5 marks each. Your 3 questions, because there is an internal option. Right? There is an internal ऑप्शन के क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 बी में 2 ऑप्शंस है, अगेन इनटू 5 मार्क्स ईच, राइट. तो इन 6, 7, 8 में से you have to opt for any 2 questions out of the 3 questions. You have to opt for any 2 questions, either question number 6, 7 or 7, 8 or question 6, 8. कोई भी 2 questions आपको opt करना है ना. Any 2 questions you have to opt for. तो एक जो compulsory part है पेपर का, राइट, एक जो कंपल्सरी पार्ट है दैट इज दिस 3 क्वेश्चंस ऑफ द 15 मार्क्स, और उसके अलावा आपको एनी 2 क्वेश्चंस आउट ऑफ द 3 क्वेश्चंस, एंड दीज 2 क्वेश्चंस आर 10 marks each, right? So that is the 20 marks of your paper, right? So that is the remaining 20 marks of the paper. तो अब पूरा हिसाब लग गया है ना. ये 15 मार्क, फिर यहाँ पे और 15 मार्क, तो 30 हो गए, और ये 20, तो ऐसे मिला के 50 मार्क का पेपर. Right? Like that you have the 50 marks of the paper. ये कितने क्वेश्चंस हो गए? 3 क्वेश्चंस, और यहाँ पे आपको कौन से कितने क्वेश्चंस लिखने हैं? कोई भी 4 क्वेश्चन, राइट. तो 7 थियरी क्वेश्चन है ना. तो अगर हिसाब लगाने जाए, अगर हम इफ वी ट्राई टू टेक द टोटल, व्हाट इज द टोटल इन आवर क्वेश्चन पेपर? वी आर गोइंग टू हैव द 8 MCQ क्वेश्चन एंड वी आर गोइंग टू हैव द 7 थियरी क्वेश्चन. 7 question, each question of 5 marks, that is 35. And MCQ 7 questions of 2 mark, 1. क्या आपको विजुअलाइज हो रहा है कि आपका क्वेश्चन पेपर कैसे दिखेगा? है ना. पहले आपके पास MCQs रहेंगे, है ना. MCQ जिसमें एक केस स्टडी होगा, राइट. केस स्टडी, देयर विल बी 1 केस स्टडी, उसके नीचे 5 क्वेश्चन. ईच क्वेश्चन विल बी ऑफ द, right, each question will be of the 2 marks, right. Each question will be of the 2 marks, right. So question number 3, 4, 5, right. So 2 marks. Then after that होगी इन, उसके बाद होगे independent MCQ. Independent MCQ again you have 3, right. 2 marks, 2 marks and 1 mark, and this is going to be 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2, 2, 2, 2 marks. Right? Do you understand? So this is 10 marks and this is the 15 marks of your paper, 5 marks of your paper. Right? So this is the 15 marks of the, right, 15 marks of the MCQ. और उसके बाद होगा आपका theory question paper. In the theory question paper, question number 5A, question number 5B, question number 5C, 5 marks, 5 marks and 5 marks. This is compulsory. है ना, ये कंपल्सरी है. फिर उसके बाद क्वेश्चन नंबर 6 में ए बी 5 मार्क्स 5 मार्क्स. क्वेश्चन नंबर 7 में ए बी 5 मार्क्स 5 मार्क्स. क्वेश्चन नंबर 8 में ए 5 मार्क्स, बी में इंटरनल ऑप्शन दिया जाता है, बी में देयर इज एन इंटरनल ऑप्शन ओवर देयर. तो इन तीनों में से क्वेश्चन नंबर 6, 7, 8 में से यू हैव टू राइट डाउन एनी 2 क्वेश्चंस आउट ऑफ द 3, एनी 2 आउट ऑफ द 3 questions you have to opt for. Okay, right. So this is 15 marks and then this is the 20 marks over here, right. 20 marks. So ये हो गए 35 marks in the theory and then 15 marks in the MCQ part of the paper. ठीक है? All good everyone? Right? सबको ध्यान में आ गया कि पेपर का पैटर्न कैसे होगा? Yes, have you understood? Are you able to follow how will be the pattern of the paper? Okay, right. So हमने just एक brief introduction लिया है regarding the chapters which we have in our syllabus, and after the chapters also the pattern of the question paper, also the pattern of the question paper. है ना, कभी-कभी ऐसे होता है, obviously MCQ is scoring, but for it to be scoring, the questions are sometimes tricky. तो इसीलिए conceptual clarity अगर है, अगर आप knowledge apply कर सकते हो, तो वो जो 15 marks है, those are very easy to score. Right? Then those 15 marks are very easy to score. Okay, right. तो ये discussion regarding the syllabus and the paper pattern. Now, if we come to our notes, right, our notes are almost, taken from the study material of the ICAI, just arranged in a more better manner. And we have two modules over there, right? Module 1, jo hai theory, and a module 1 where you have the theory of the subject, right? So as I told you, ये 5 chapters हमें पढ़ना है, right? So 15 pages, 26 pages, 21 pages, 19 pages and 37. So जो last chapter है, that's like a big one over there, right? और फिर introduction to strategic management है ना, so the entire discussion regarding the strategic management. Okay, what is the meaning? Yes, first, what is the meaning of the term management? Then what is the meaning of the term strategy? Then what is the definition of the strategic management, right? Strategic management. फिर ये एक बहुत favorite question है कि strategy is partly proactive and partly reactive. You know, one of the super duper favorite topic of the examiner. You know, partly proactive, reactive, right? Then that's strategic management. Then importance and limitations. So ये इसको में हम लोग क्या बोल सकते हैं? Advantages and disadvantages, right? So ये एक महत्वपूर्ण, this is one of the important questions from the chapter of the strategic management, which is regarding the importance of the strategic management. And after the importance, we also have the limitations of the strategic management, right? The importance and the limitations. Obviously, अगर आपको strategic management, if an organization wants to do the strategic management, first you need to have the strategic intent. You know, बोलते हैं ना कि मन का भाव होना चाहिए कि first you should be willing, right? You should have the intention, and then how will anybody come to know your intention? By knowing what is your vision, what is your mission, what are your goals, what are your objectives, and obviously what are your values and your value system. Right, so we have the discussion regarding the vision, the mission, the goals, objectives, and the values and the value system. Right, so that's an important part of the discussion in this chapter. Okay, vision, है ना? विजन के बाद डिस्कशन रिगार्डिंग द मिशन बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे हम लोग ये भी, हमें कभी कभी ये भी क्वेश्चन आता है कि ड्राफ्ट मिशन स्टेटमेंट, है ना, कि प्रिपेयर अ विजन, प्रिपेयर अ मिशन स्टेटमेंट फॉर एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. Right, so that is vision, mission, then goals and objectives. And after goals and objectives, you have the values and the value system. तो वो एक पार्ट है डिस्कशन का. फिर उसके बाद है डिस्कशन रिगार्डिंग द स्ट्रैटेजिक लेवल्स इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, राइट? सो यू हैव द 3 स्ट्रैटेजिक लेवल्स इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, एंड देन आफ्टर दैट द नेटवर्क ऑफ रिलेशनशिप बिटवीन द 3 लेवल्स, कि ये जो 3 लेवल्स है, हाउ आर दे एसोसिएटेड विद ईच अदर, एंड दैट्स इट. That would complete our discussion for the chapter number 1. So mota mati agar dekha jaye, if on a gross basis, we happen to see in chapter number 1, we have the discussion on the meaning of strategic management. Then it is partly proactive, partly reactive. Then the importance and limitations of strategic management. Then after that, the strategic levels in an organization and the relationship between the levels of between the strategic levels in an organization. तो ये बात हो गई आपके थियोरी की बुक के, कि अगर आपको चैप्टर 1 का थियोरी पढ़ना है तो ये सारा उस थियोरी में आता है ना. दिस इज ऑल व्हाट गेट्स कवर्ड इन द थियोरी ऑफ द चैप्टर 1. फिर उसके बाद अगर आप आपका मॉड्यूल 2 देखोगे, आफ्टर दिस इफ यू हैपन टू लुक एट योर मॉड्यूल 2, देन दैट इज द क्वेश्चन बैंक. Right? That is the question bank, right? So question bank, wherein you have the entire, right, same chapter sequence given over there, and then you have the questions over there. And जैसे मैंने बताया कि super duper favorite question of ICAI कि partly proactive, partly reactive, है ना? Strategy is partly proactive and partly reactive. तो उसके related जितने क्वेश्चंस है ना, जितने भी अभी तक के जितने भी MTP, RTP सजेस्टेड इंस्टीट्यूट स्टडी मटेरियल में, you know, I didn't go for any other author book or something, to be very honest. I just picked up, you know, downloaded all the MTP, RTP suggested of the ICAI, then after that converted them into Word. फिर उसके बाद हर एक चैप्टर के कंटेंट वाइज उनको मैंने पहले हर एक 4-5 वर्ड फाइल बना के उसमें डाला, फिर उसके बाद उनको सीक्वेंस में लगाया, फिर जो रिपीट क्वेश्चंस है उनको डिलीट किया, सो दैट एटलीस्ट मतलब किसी स्टूडेंट्स का सेटिस्फैक्शन तो ऑब्वियसली अब आएगा, बट आई हैव प्रिपेयर्ड द बुक फर्स्ट टू माय ओन सेटिस्फैक्शन, कि मुझे मतलब मुझे पता है कि ये बुक में मैंने सारा जो भी इंस्टीट्यूट का कंटेंट अवेलेबल है वो मैंने डाला है ना. So because I have been updating my audit book over a period of time, that same strategy and experience I have applied, directly, my years, almost 15 years of experience of audit, I've directly applied it, for my SM preparation of the notes. So I was like, oh, teaching a second subject is easier as compared to, it reminded me of the days when in 2009, when I started teaching audit. Okay, so that time I was absolutely naive about teaching, but now it is a more enjoyable job than obviously that time it was more challenging. Now it is less as compared to those times. Okay, right. So that is one set of questions regarding the introduction to strategy. Then strategic management, what are the importance and limitation? तो जो भी importance limitations के related questions है वो यहाँ है. फिर उसके बाद strategic intent, vision, mission, goals, objectives and values. तो उसके related जो भी questions है ना, okay, what is strategic vision? Then what are the major components of a good mission statement? Then what is, yes, mission statement of a company focuses on the question, right? Then vision, mission, distinguish between vision and mission statement. Again, distinguish between what are objectives, right? Then also strategic planners, what should concentrate on which areas. Then the strategic levels in an organization, right? Strategic levels in an organization, and then the network of relationship, right? So that completes your question bank for the chapter number 1, right? So इससे क्या complete हो जाता है? And did you see this? Did you notice this? That even the RTP September 24 questions have been included in your question bank. Right? So एकदम latest, then all the questions have been included over here. Right? तो एक आपको फ्लो ध्यान में आया कि जिस फ्लो में चैप्टर का कंटेंट है, द फ्लो इन विच द कंटेंट ऑफ द चैप्टर इज देयर, इन द सेम फ्लो इवन द कंटेंट ऑफ द क्वेश्चन बैंक हैज आल्सो बीन गिवन. क्योंकि अगर वंस वी स्टडी वन कंसेप्ट, वी वांट टू नो कि रिगार्डिंग दिस कंसेप्ट व्हाट टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस कैन कम इन द एग्जाम, व्हाट विल बी द ड्राफ्टिंग ऑफ द क्वेश्चन, व्हेन व्हाट पॉइंट्स आई एम सपोज्ड टू राइट, सो वी कैन स्टडी बोथ ऑफ देम टुगेदर. And we can have a comprehensive approach for studying both of them together. Right? All good. I think it's one of the most slimmest material that you have, around some 120, 130 pages, in your theory and the, what do you say, the question bank book over there, right? Each around 130 pages or so. Okay, right? So, theek chal raha hai? All good? Right? Is it all going fine, everyone? I knew, I'm aware that the class was supposed to start a bit early, but then after that, due to some other commitments, we had to delay in the starting of the batch. I assume many of you are writing your exams in the coming few days or months, okay? Right? Okay. When are we getting the books? So that you could check with the technical team. I think they are, I checked with them yesterday, so they have all been dispatched already. Right? So till that time, you can keep your study material in front of you to get the advantage of the class. Okay, right? So is it going good? I hope you're sitting straight, because I know my students always sit straight when they are attending the class. Yes, all of you, all good? Let's start with our discussion. Yeah, okay, all good. Okay, right. So, it's all theory related. So, like audit also theory subject, and strategic management also, it's like, oh my God, it's like, when I happen to look into the MTP, or even the suggested of the, what do you say, encrypted copy of the soft book, I can upload it today itself, so that should not be an issue. Okay, so I was looking into the suggested MTP, or downloading it from the institute website for SM. So obviously only SM is not available separately, it is FM and SM. So I was like, oh my God, look at the first part A of the paper, completely like problem solving and formulas and numericals over there. And you look at the second part of the paper, only alphabets and words, only words and words and put over there. Okay, right. So, anyways, with all this brief analysis in our mind, let us start with our discussion of the subject. Okay, right. So, theory subject पढ़ते वक्त एक बात, like when you're studying a theory subject, there are one particular important thing which you need to keep in mind, that you have to understand the technical jargon of the subject. You understand? You have to understand the technical jargon of the subject. Only when you understand the technical jargon, you are able to apply, you're able to use it in your exam paper, and only that will give you the marks in the theory part as well as help you to solve the MCQ. And दुनिया भर के live examples लेके अपनी भाषा में, like you have all the practical knowledge and you have all the own style of understanding of the subject, that does not give you the marks required for the exam. Right? So my strategy to teach the subject of strategic management is to keep it exam oriented. Am I right? Right? Should that be a strategy to study the subject of strategic management? Obviously, to study strategic management also we need a strategy. And so we'll keep it exam oriented regarding what type of questions are coming in the exam, what is the content, what my answer, it should not only have the important points, I have to write down the description of the points also. Right? There should be enough content written in my answer also, and obviously it should also be relevant. Okay, right? So how many of you have already studied audit with me? Just out of curiosity, I am asking you. Other students, you might be still who are listening to me for the first time. You still might be, forming your opinion about me, or yeah, fast track. Okay, yeah, I remember seeing your name sometimes. Okay, right. So yeah, you might be busy, or, as you watch a movie or you listen to something, you form your opinion. So I'm sure that those of you who are listening to me for the first time would be contemplating, would be thinking, okay, she's good. Oh, no, no, it's not going right. So, but I'm telling you one thing, give me some time. Give me some time. I am telling you, you will, get the marks. You will pass the subject. That is what I can tell you. Like, that's the purpose why you are here. So, that purpose will get served. Right? I'll put my heart and soul into the teaching of the subject. Right? So, no. What do you say, compromise on the part of efforts, or putting into the concept of the subject. Okay, right? So yeah, I am. It's so much of curiosity for me also regarding, oh, students are guessing about me. Okay, right. So, anyways, let's begin with our discussion for the subject. Okay, so let me have these two terms, strategic and management. Right. So, obviously, first we have to understand who is this management, and second, what is strategy, and then we have to combine these two terms together. That is the strategic management. It's literally like you have this. I think in English you would have studied something called as एक English में I don't know कौन से class में, but ऐसे teacher पढ़ाती है ना, match and box, and then you put it together and it is match box. Or butter, so they show Amul butter and they show fly, so they show a small insect, and then they say that butter and fly, when you put it together, there is no Amul butter, there is no insect, it's just a beautiful butterfly coming out over there. Can you think of any such example? Like how I said butter and fly, something like that, right? Like match, box, something like that. Can anybody think of any such example? Right? Like two words you put together and it becomes an altogether different word over there. Yes? Anyone? Any creativity of your brains or any memories of any such term? Bun butter. Okay. So bun separate, butter. Okay. Yeah, butter like okay. Anything else? Okay. Anyone? Anything else that comes to your mind? Okay, you have black and smith, and then when you put it together, it's a person who is working on the irons, right? So that's the blacksmith. Right? So likewise, there are many such terms which we combine together, right? And then you get a new word out of that, right? So similarly, new meaning out of that, right? So similarly, we are separately going to study the term management, and we are going to study the term strategy, and then combine and look into them together. Okay. Right. So first, let us try to understand the term management. Okay. Right. So let us put the ment aside. Okay. So ment is, measurement, and this meant and that meant. Okay. But you have man, age, meant. So obviously, as a man ages, I think he manages better. That could be the most beautiful definition, but obviously we can't write that in the exam. As a man includes a woman, like, so it's just he is equal to also includes she, right? So yeah, as the person ages, obviously they are able to manage better. You become better. They say, you learn from your mistakes, or some of them are born leaders or something. So how a man ages, and over the aging, how the person manages, right? That is the management. Okay, and people do their MBAs in management, like, they say they manage masters in business administration, and there is so much of discussion of the management. Just say, if you would have done your articleship in a big four, or in any firm for that matter, you have one fellow working over there who is called as a manager, है ना, कि ये इस ऑडिट के मैनेजर हैं, है ना. एक तो फर्म के पार्टनर्स होते हैं, डायरेक्टर्स होते हैं, अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट यू हैव द मैनेजर्स. इन मैनेजर्स आल्सो यू हैव द डिफरेंट लेवल्स ऑफ द मैनेजर्स. You have the senior manager, right? Then you have the manager, then deputy manager, then obviously not, then first it is deputy manager, then below the deputy manager you have the assistant manager. And at least this was how it was in Deloitte, where I did my articleship, right? And below the assistant managers you have the articles. Once the article qualify, or post qualification, when you join the firm, you join as an AM, then they are promoted, you become a DM, and then you are promoted, you become a M. So at one time they had M1 and M2, okay, manager 1, and then promoted to manager 2, but then they changed it to only manager. Then after manager you get promoted to senior manager, SM. Then after senior manager you become the director and our executive director, and then after director you become the partner, and then you could also become the CEO, India CEO, the global CEO of the firm also, right? तो ये देखो एक ऐसा hierarchy. And okay, there is the CEO of the firm, then there are partners of the firm. Any guess how many partners are there generally in a big four? Right? Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, EY. Any guess how many partners are there? Or in the firm in where you did your articleship, कितने partners थे? 1, 20, 30. How many? How many partners in your firm where you did your articleship? Or no, not started articleship. Oh yeah, you can't. No, that's why you're studying essay. Okay, right. So yeah, okay. So once you complete with your what do you say, your CA inter, then you start with your articleship. Okay, so like Deloitte India, it has some 600 partners. Right, so 600 partners plus executive directors put together. Right, so that is where you have the CEO of the firm, then partners of the firm, then the directors, senior managers, right? So they have some 8,000 chartered accountants working for them, right? So deputy manager, assistant manager, and then the articles. Right, so lots and lots, thousands and thousands of articles. You say, ma'am, but it's so difficult to get into a big four. Yeah, so that we can discuss it later. Like they require first attempt, both group cleared, and many such requirement. Okay, right. So, anyways, where we are talking about the term manager, and they say, oh my God, like, you are such a good manager. You're such a good manager. So, obviously, if a person is a good manager, then that person is obviously also going to be a good leader. Do you agree with me? A good manager means a good leader. Because as a manager, when you manage something, that means it is your leadership skill. That means it's your leadership role which is coming into the picture. Okay, right. So, anyways, now coming back to the term management. Right now, let's come back to the term management. Right. So, one management, we can look into it as a group of persons and not a normal group of persons, key group of the persons, right? So we can call it as a group of the important people in the organization. And like how you have in the undivided family, somebody in Hindu undivided family, you might have studied that in your basics. In Hindu undivided family, कौन होता है? एक कोई रहता है ना? There's somebody called as the Karta. Exactly. Oh my God, you're listening to me. That's good. Okay, there's somebody called as the Karta. Right? So that Karta is the management, right? So, or something which you would have studied in case of, you might have heard in case of companies like Infosys or, Tata Motors, or in case of the, Zomato, any company, any listed company for that matter, a term called as the board of directors. Suna hai kabhi? Board of directors. Okay, these are the people who give the strategic direction to the entity. Oh my God, look at the definition of the board of directors. They give the strategic direction to the entity. है ना, कि किस राह पे चलना है, हमें अपने कंपनी को किस दिशा में लेके जाना है, कि in which path are we supposed to walk to, in which way do we lead our organization towards. So that is the key group of person. That is what is one way to look at the term management. And another way to look at the management is looking at a set of activities being performed. Can anybody tell me what are the set of activities? I'm sure that you are simultaneously studying for your BCom graduation exams also. So you might have studied regarding management that they do some work called like a planning. Yeah, very good. Planning, then organizing. Very good. Right. Organizing, then directing. Correct. Directing, then supervising. Yes, supervising. And then last one is the controlling. है ना? So these are the functions of the management: planning, organizing, directing, supervising, controlling. And then they do the planning, then they organize, they give direction, supervise, and they also control the activities in the organization. And so all these set of or functions is called as the management, or the group of people who are at the top, who are at the apex level in the organization. You understand, apex, at the top level in the organization, who are doing all the decision making in the organization, right? Who are taking all the decisions in the organization, they are called as the management. Okay, management can take place level. But when we talk about management, generally we refer to the top level management. Generally, we refer to the higher level, the topmost level in the organization. Like if you see, this is the organization pyramid, the structure, the topmost. And at the peak over there, that is referred to as the management. This management, we can also call them as the board of directors, BOD. Yes, क्या मीनिंग है बीओडी का? बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स. इनको हम और क्या बोल सकते हैं? इनको हम बोल सकते हैं दी केएमपी. कैन एनीबडी टेल मी, थिंक ऑफ द फुल फॉर्म ऑफ केएमपी? कभी सुना है? Have you ever heard the term KMP? Who is KMP? It is the key managerial personnel in an organization. Correct. Wonderful. Good job. Key managerial personnel. Right? So जैसे कंपनी में बहुत सारे बड़े बड़े लोग होते हैं. कौन बड़े बड़े लोग होते हैं? CEO, CFO, the vice president of the company, managing director of the company, all these, and the company secretary, all these can be called as the key managerial personnel, the finance manager, and so. Right? So chief executive officer, chief finance officer. Nowadays, so you have chief technical officer, chief information officer, chief information security officer, chief legal officer. Aajkal so there is CXOs, like so many different varieties of chief officers in the company. And so all these different chief officers of the company could be called as the KMP, right? The key managerial personnel in the organization. Right? So अब हम started with our discussion of the subject, and the first thing which we have to discuss is management and strategy, and then we have to combine them together. Right? तो अभी हमने क्या डिस्कस किया है? मैनेजमेंट. और मैनेजमेंट व्हाट वी हैव अंडरस्टूड कि दो तरीके हैं टू अंडरस्टैंड द टर्म मैनेजमेंट. ये तो देयर इज वन, तो दैट इट इज अ ग्रुप ऑफ पर्सन. It is a group of people who is at the top level in the organization, who is running, managing, taking the decisions on behalf of the organization. Right? So that is one way to look at the term management. Okay? It is a group of people. Okay, key people. And second way to look at management, that they are doing some interrelated activities and functions like planning, organizing, directing, supervising, and the controlling. Is that clear to all of you? Right? Planning, organizing, directing, supervising, and the controlling. Okay, right. So let us look into our books to the discussion of the term management. Okay, right. So this chapter is an attempt to highlight the concept and significance of strategic management, right? So working towards the growth of the businesses must possess the strongest good knowledge of the strategic management. To understand the concept of strategic management, we need to have a basic understanding of the term मैनेजमेंट. तो पहले किस टर्म पे फोकस करना है? मैनेजमेंट. एंड इट सेज द टर्म मैनेजमेंट इज यूज्ड इन टू सेंसेस. What is the first sense? It is a key group in an organization. And second, what? It is a set of interrelated functions and processes. Right? Everybody, are you able to? ये बुक का कंटेंट जो भी है ना, this should make sense to us. It should come to life. मतलब ये जो कंटेंट है बुक का, इसमें हमें जानना. We have to understand कि, oh yeah, to understand strategic management, first we have to understand management. Management के दो meaning होते हैं. कौन से दो meaning? It is a key group in an organization. It is the chief organ. Which is the chief organ of the human body? Ma'am, I'm asking such simple questions. What is the chief? वो बोलते हैं हो गया बंद. Yes, what is the chief organ of the human body? The heart. Obviously, if the heart is not working, finish. Story over. RIP. And rest in peace. Okay, so that is how it says how important is the management in an organization. Okay, it is the chief organ entrusted with the task of making it a purposeful and productive entity. है ना कि ऐसे ही बस कट रही है जिंदगी ऐसे नहीं. A purposeful and a productive entity by undertaking the task of bringing together and integrating the disorganized resources. The resources you have a lot, but what you are doing, you are integrating them, bringing them together. You're bringing them together. You're integrating the resources. What resources? Manpower, money, material, and technology, which are then combined into a functioning. Right? So manpower, money, material, and the technology. Right? So that is why you have the human resources. Right? Then money, you have the finance manager. So you have HR manager, you have money means finance manager. Material means it would be the production manager. And again, technology would be related to the production department only, the production manager, that what technology is being used in the organization. Right? So it is a key group in an organization in charge of its affairs. Right? So whatever is the business the organization is into, who is in charge of that? It says this set of people. It is the chief organ which is integrating and bringing together the resources. What resources? Manpower, money, material, and technology, which are combined together into a functioning as a whole. Okay, right. An organization becomes a unified functioning system when management systematically mobilizes and utilizes the diverse resources. And how should you utilize the resources? Efficiently and effectively. Right? So all these resources, manpower, money, material, technology, should be used how? It should be used efficiently and effectively. The survival and success of an organization depends on the competence and character of the management. Okay, how capable is the management? What is the quality? What is the character? What is the fabric of the management? हम लोग बहुत बार बोलते हैं अरे यार ये इनका ना कोई हम लोग होटल में रहने जाते हैं वहां पे रूम सर्विस नहीं होता है वहां पे बराबर पे चेक इन चेकआउट का टाइम क्लीनलीनेस नहीं है तो हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं कि अरे यार इन लोगों का ना मैनेजमेंट ही सही नहीं है. कभी आप कोई रेलवे स्टेशन पे जाते हो कोई पर्टिकुलर एयरपोर्ट पे जाते हो इतना हौच पौच रहता है. जैसे आप एग्जाम्पल ले सकते हो बिटवीन स्पाइस जेट एंड इंडिगो है ना ये दो एयरलाइंस है. आप स्पाइस जेट की फ्लाइट देखो तो 12 घंटे डीले 14 घंटा डीले एकदम नॉर्मल बात है. और वही इंडिगो इट इज लाइक दे विल हाफ एन आवर डिले आल्सो बिकम्स अ बिग डील फॉर देम. It becomes a big deal. They try to ensure that it is on time. आप कोई पर्टिकुलर एयरपोर्ट पे जाओ आजकल तो एयरपोर्ट पे जाते हैं तो ऐसा लगता है कि ऑलमोस्ट एज इफ यू आर ऑन अ रेलवे स्टेशन. Like the amount of people over there and then the gate change is there and people are going फिर किसी का बैग मिस हो जाता है. So there is so much of the activity happening over there. Right? So obviously there has to be the proper management, right? So that is the competence and the character of the management. Right? तो अगर आप एयरपोर्ट पे जाओगे तो आप देखोगे if you go to the airport you'll see at every place there are people standing to help you. Like you don't know which gate check-in counter you're supposed to go to. They'll say show us your ticket or they say go over here. Then they say oh give your bag over here. Oh for security you stand in that line. Oh then you further go to this gate. Continuously there are people there to help you around. Right? So obviously if there are people there to help you around that means it is talking about the competence and the character of the management. Right? The competence and the character of the management, okay, as also to facilitate the organizational change and adaptation for effective interaction with the environment. So obviously change is the only constant. You cannot say oh now I have designed my organization structure, there is a management in my company, let it run. No, they have changing their strategy, keep on updating the strategy. Right? So are we good with this one definition of management? It is a group of people, right, who are running the organization, making the optimum efficient utilization of the resources, and that depends on the competence and character of the management. Clear, everyone? right? Intentionally we are going to stick around and try to read the content of the book word by word, so that we get that knowledge into our system, and so that that particular language gets into our system. Okay, and second definition of the management given over there is the used with reference to a set of interrelated functions and processes, which I called it as the activities, right, carried out by the people referred to in A above, and the key group of individuals. And that is all the CEO, CFO, board of directors, vice president, managing director of the company to attend the management objectives, right? And then what are the functions of the management? I told you: planning, organizing, directing, staffing, right? So rather than supervising, we can make it as the staffing over here, right? So staffing and the controlling, right? So you have the staffing and also the controlling, right? So planning, organizing, directing, staffing, and the controlling. Right? These functions or sub processes of the management are wide range, but they are closely interrelated. Right? They range all the way from the determination of the goal. Right? So you determine what is the goal of your organization, then accordingly design of the organization structure, then the mobilization and acquisition of the resources, then allocation of the tasks and resources among the personnel, activity units, and the installation of the control system, right? And the installation of the control system, right? So planning, organizing, directing, staffing, and the controlling. Right? These are the functions of the management. Okay, right? So that is the second part, second variety of the definition of the term management. Okay, right. So management. Now one more. After giving the two senses of the term management, now they talk about management is an influence process. And okay, they are the people who are deciding the nervous system, the how the organization is going to operate, to make things happen, to gain command over a phenomenon regarding what external circumstances have happened, and to induce and direct events and people in a particular manner. So to make things happen. Like, CCD, once upon a time, they used to, I don't know today also if they have that tagline, but unka us waqt wo tagline hota tha na, a lot can happen over coffee. Like the cafe coffee day, and now it is heard that coffee day enterprises, it was audited by KPMG, and the partner who did that particular, if I'm not wrong, it's KPMG, I think, and the partner has been debarred from practice for a period of 10 years, and the engagement quality control reviewer for a period of 5 years, and also a huge amount of penalty to be paid, and so, right, because of the probably not doing the audit as per the auditing standards or so. Okay, right. So, anyways, we will always have a 10 crores fine for KPMG firm. Yeah, exactly. And also, I think 10 years the partner has been debarred, right? And the EQCR has been debarred for 5 years. Okay, so nowadays, like audit practice, you have to, like, what we talk about, that professional skepticism and maintaining that alertness, and, having a no nonsense approach and not taking anything for granted. It's like the need of the hour, it's the need of the moment, right? So cafe coffee day company, exactly, that's what I said, right? So coffee day and it's KPMG firm. Okay, right? So yeah, the regulators won't leave you, and now is sitting on top, the National Financial Reporting Authority. Okay, right. So what does it say? To make things happen. So anyway, see how our discussion happened. To make things happen, a lot can happen over coffee. From coffee, we went to the one of the recent news about the coffee day enterprise or so. Okay, right. So to make things happen, so now you want to bring about the change in your organization, like if I don't know whether you might have been in your very, very younger, very, initial years of your life, when this Apple and, this BlackBerry came into the market. So that time, there was an equivalent status given to an Apple phone and to a BlackBerry phone. Like Apple had this iMessage and thing, and BlackBerry had this BBM, the BlackBerry Messenger. And they were an equal. Like, it's like Shah Rukh Khan and Salman Khan. Like, you'll say you might be having liking towards any one of them, but just, both are like the superstars over there. But then over a period of time, you see that BlackBerry nowhere into existence, and Apple, oh my god, Apple 20, 30, 40, the iPhone next versions continue to come into the market over there. Right, you see, like that Nokia phone, it had a reputation that even though if you drop it from the top floor, only the, from 6th, 7th floor or something, only the battery will come out. You put the battery again and the phone starts. It was known to be so sturdy. And then when the keyboard phones were there. But then after that, when the touchscreen market came, and then when the only the screen phones came, somehow they couldn't update and upgrade themselves on a timely basis, and that is why they could not continue their existence in the manner in which they were there in the beginning. So that is why you continuously need to adapt, continuously need to change. Obviously, always be future oriented. Okay, what next? And what next? That thought always needs to be there in the mind. Okay, right? So make things happen, right? So that is the role of the management. Okay, management, you have to make it happen. Right? Whatever is the role of the or the objective, the goal, the vision, the mission of the organization, you have to turn it into reality. Okay, whatever has been thought of, that has to be turned into the reality. Like, in Pune they had the Pune metro project, so they had to make it happen. No, there was a management over there to make it happen. Like, if in Gujarat you see that Kevadia, I think, where there is that Statue of Unity, so obviously they had to make it happen. Like, the entire project from scratch had to be executed over there. Okay, right? So make things happen to gain command over a phenomenon. So whatever has happened, right? Like UPI, like all of a sudden there is a change in which the payment is made. Like, on my recent trip to US, I was like, oh my God, they're like, giving you back money in the cents. And so I happened to collect so many of the coins over there. And I was like, now in India, it's rare to see even what do you say, even a note, forget about coins. And we are like everywhere. We don't, like, once upon a time we needed our wallet, we had the plastic money, we had the cards. Now I think I hardly use my card also. It's just my phone, the QR code, or the online payments that we make. But there, no, like, we are so, even if you go to water, you're like, okay. You go to have bhel puri, you're like QR code. You guys also use QR code, which is the least amount of payment you've done through a QR code. What is the least payment? 10 rupee payment you've done through QR code. So generally, when these kirana stores, these grocery stores, when they started accepting these 10 rupee, 5 rupee payments, their bank statement started running into pages and pages and pages. Because somebody coming and buying a shampoo sachet and then 2 rupee shampoo sachet, and then they are paying through QR code. So then they put a request. Oh my God, bank is complaining that your bank statement is coming to be so thick. Unnecessarily, we are printing so much. So please don't accept these small amounts over there. Yeah, but that has been a change in India which is not yet seen around and not yet seen in the world, right? So that is why it is said that India is the fastest growing economy over there. Okay, right. So influence is backed by the, right? So it has to, management is an influence process which is trying to make things happen and to gain command over the phenomenon. So whatever is the reality of what has happened, and to induce and direct events and people, right? So they have to induce and direct the events also and the people also in a particular manner. And then this influence, to make things happen, is backed by, what? The power. Obviously, management needs to have the power. They should have the decision making ability, that, oh, we need to have a new R&D manager in our company. And so somebody needs to have that power. Without power, you can't make it happen. After power, you need the competence, right? You need to know how to make it happen. Now, see, everywhere I'm going back to the term make it happen. Right? You need the knowledge, otherwise you can't make it happen. You need the resources, otherwise, again, you cannot make it happen. Right? So to make it happen, it's an influence process to make things happen. And that influence is backed by power, competence, knowledge, and the resources. Power, competence, knowledge, and the resources. Right? The power, the competence, the knowledge, and the resources. And managers formulate organizational goals, values, and strategies to cope with, to adapt, and to adjust themselves with the behavior and changes in the environment. Because obviously, environment is not within our control. Right? So we have to adapt, we have to adjust according to the environment. It's like, if institute changes the syllabus, you cannot say, no, no, I want to write as per old syllabus only. You don't have that option. You have to adapt, you have to adjust. Either you study on your own or you do the classes again, whatever you do, but you have to adapt, you have to adjust. Why? Because it is beyond your control. It is within the environment. Right? It is in the environment. Okay. Right? So strategic management process is a set of activities, right? So it's a set of activities that firm managers undertake. So firm enterprise organization managers undertake to put their firms in the best possible position. Okay, we should be, if not number one, whatever is best possible for us to compete successfully in the marketplace. Right? Strategic management is made up of several distinct activities. So what are the activities? Developing the firm, vision and mission, then strategic analysis, then developing the objective. Once you know your objective, creating, choosing, and implementing the strategy. And once you create, choose, implement the strategy, then measure and evaluate the performance. Right? So that is some additional discussion. Okay, I don't know, but had you tried to read this on your own before you joined the class, probably it would have been like, "Oh, re, kya likha hai re, baba, kya bol rahe hai?" But now when we start, it's like, okay, I'm holding your hand when you're crossing the road. So obviously it becomes more convenient. If I'm not holding hand, putting us in an elevator itself. Okay, right, or an escalator over there. Okay, right. So with that, oh my God, amazing! We've completed one page of the book. ऐसे करते 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 we'll complete with all the pages of the book. Are you all with me? Yes. Are you all there? All of you listening to me? Okay. Right. So we've completed with the term management. Now let us come to the term strategy. Right. So strategy. Right. So now we are talking about the second term over there, which is related to the strategy. Right. Strategy, which is your Kootaniti or your Rananiti. And regarding strategy, right, can you decide like for what all do you decide the strategy? Can you decide? Can you think of, okay, where all have you laid down a strategy and then implemented it and then got what you wanted over there? What you wanted over there? Like, say, you could have applied a strategy when you wanted to convince your parents for them to buy you an iPhone, or where you wanted to go to Chennai for doing your articleship, or you want to come to Mumbai or Pune or some other place. You have to lay down a strategy. You have to start behaving good. You have to start behaving in a responsible manner. You have to start saying all positive, showing the change and the readiness in you. Right? That is all the strategy which you apply over there. Right? Say if you want some particular, like, you want some food to be made, or you don't feel like studying today, anything that you do, first you start doing the working in your mind. And then after you do the working in your mind, uske baad you start accordingly, executing it. Right? So that is why they say that strategy is a blueprint. And it is a long range blueprint, right? So obviously many short term goals put together, but it's a long range blueprint. And it's a long range blueprint regarding how you see your organization in the future, right? So that your organization will have some core competency, right? So that you are recognized for it, right? That becomes your identity and core competency, like, Apple, right? In terms of security, there is no beat to an Apple product, right? So that's the core competency over there. Right? Or if you talk about an IFB machine, washing machine, there are so many other LG, Samsung. You go to a Chroma, or you go to a, what do you say? Yes, you go to a Reliance Digital, you see so many washing machines over there. But if you see that IFB washing machine over there, or that Bosch washing machine, they have their core competency in their particular product. Okay, right. So strategy for pass SM to listen to your class. Exactly, right. So you have to listen yes to my class for that. That's good. Okay, right. And then also you want to gain a competitive advantage. You don't want to be in the rat race. You want to be the king rat, anyways you are in the rat race, but in the rat race now you want to be the, and you want to be the rat. Oh, this is not looking like a rat. Wait, let me draw a better rat. Okay, this is, ma'am, your rat is looking like a fish. Now what I do, I'll draw a tail like this, something will do adjustment to the rat. It's looking bird come rat come, everything all put together. Okay, but now you don't only want to be the rat, at least you want to be the king in the rat. And you want to have a competitive advantage. Like, like if I talk about Airtel, or if I talk about VI, Vodafone Idea, or there could be some people who are still using the BSNL or something like that. Okay, but now why would a customer, or obviously I can't forget Geo. Okay, so why would a customer stick to Airtel, or why would a customer continue to use the Geo or switch to Geo? Say they were originally on Vodafone or Idea, and then when Geo came into picture, they quickly changed over there because free services were provided. Right? So obviously that is the competitive advantage. The competitive advantage. And obviously, along with all of this, like, they say it's a long range blueprint. You want to develop and maintain your core competency, have the competitive advantage. But ultimately, what you have to do is how you respond to a situation. How do you respond to a situation? How do you respond to an event? That is your strategy, right? How do you respond, right, to a situation? Like, you decided to do CA. Now that you decided to do this, now this is a situation for you. So then how did you respond? You decided to study for foundation, for inter, and do classes and study every day, cut your curricular activities or so. Then say after that the results not come positive. So again, then your strategy was that, oh, in the response, okay, last time I did the study in this manner, this time I will change my strategy of study. Right? So you responded to a situation. Like, you see these particular, probably some 20 years back, there is this place in Delhi called as CP, Connaught Place, Rajiv Chowk, or in Pune, or, every city, I think for that matter, as MG Road. There is a shopping complex over there. Right? So those were the times when there used to be a shopping complex, and then it used to be very popular. These shopping complexes were the only places where you could go for your shopping. Then after the shopping complexes came the malls. Came the malls, like big, big malls and all brands. Obviously, there was not much of the brands before the malls came into existence, probably some 20 years back or so. There was more of this mall culture also which came. In the US, it said that when that Black Friday sale and not all used to be there used to be gate crashing. Like, people used to be waiting late in the entire night, standing in the queue, and then the moment the shop used to open in the morning, they used to rush into the store. Like, people used to be like, there used to be a stampede type of a situation. But today, you see, there is no great response. Why? Because people have shifted to the online shopping. The amount, it's still, now the market is segregated between the online sales and the market, what you say, the offline sales. But yeah, some part of the sales have also been taken by the online. In online, it started with the e-commerce, and it started with Flipkart and Amazon, and right, Flipkart, Amazon, Myntra, Ajio, and all of that. Now after e-commerce, you also have quick commerce. Can anybody give me any examples of quick commerce? Can anybody think of giving? Yes, any one of you? I'm not taking the names of anybody of you, because as we are recording, then students who listen to the recordings later, for them it becomes not very relevant. So yeah, but students, can you tell me any examples? I know you know all the examples of quick commerce. Quickly give me quick commerce. Yes, all my bright, bright students. Yeah? Swiggy, Genie, and oh yeah, Zepto, very good. Then और क्या है? Swiggy, Blinkit, Blinkit. All these are what? These are all examples of the quick commerce. And a quick commerce. That is why they say आजकल tolerance की जरूरत ही नहीं है. That is why impatience has gone to another level. And you don't need to wait like for anything. You just blink it and you get it. Zomato and you get it immediately. 10 minutes, 15 minutes. बीच में तो क्या आया था? Blinkit का वगैरह 7-minute delivery, 8-minute delivery, something like that. I think 7, 8, something like that minute delivery had come. So everywhere they had their dark stores. And then immediately, the moment the order came, जाओ सामान उठा के तुरंत घर पे deliver करो. फिर what happened because of that? That people started doing such rash driving. They started breaking the traffic rules, and then so much of the accidents started happening. That is why they say, अरे 10 के जगह 12 मिनट भी लग गए तो ठीक है, but सर सलामत तो पगड़ी हजार. And okay, you first care for your life, and then after that you deliver the products over there, right? But yeah, even though if you see, like in the morning you get up and you say, oh, you need some milk, bread, or some vegetable, you blink it, and within 10, 12 minutes, 15 minutes, it will be at your place. Okay, right. So anyways, look at the evolution. And continue to be as it has been over a period of time. Like today, if you decide to, go into some Shark Tank and come up with some business idea over there, your business idea will be towards quick commerce. It will be regarding e-commerce or something which is trending. You won't say, oh, let me set up a shopping complex and put a lot of stores over there. Yes, at least in a city, you won't have that particular option. And so, what is this? From more complex to mall, mall to online, online to e-commerce, e-commerce to quick commerce. It has all been a response to a situation or an event or to an external circumstance or change in the organization goal, objectives, and so on. Right? So that is the strategy. In audit, we have a SA 300, right, which is the planning and audit of the financial statements, in which we discuss these two terms, overall audit strategy and audit plan. है ना वहां पे दो concepts आते हैं. Obviously मैं audit नहीं, I'm not teaching you audit right now, but yeah, I'm just taking the concept because there's the term strategy over there, right? Audit strategy and audit plan, they say they are closely interrelated. And what is strategy over there? It gives you the scope, timing, and direction of the audit. Okay, how are you going to do the audit? Right, so strategy over here also helps you to decide about the image, the direction, and the destination of the organization. The image, the direction, and the destination of the organization, IDD. And okay, in future, your brand, how do you see it as? So, what is the image of the organization that you have in your mind? And then after that, the direction. Okay, towards which direction to achieve that desired image, in which direction are you walking towards? And finally, the end of your journey, that is what is your destination, what is your milestone which you want to achieve, right? What is your milestone which you want to achieve? Okay, so just to give you a very real life and a personalized, relatable example over there. Like after qualifying my CA exams, I had an image, say, in my mind that I want to get into teaching. Okay, so that was the image in my mind. Right? So because of that image, I started walking in that direction. So I started teaching the subject of the audit. Right? So inter and then final and then regular and fast track and marathon, and then first it was only physical, then came virtual classes, then came online recorded, then I started traveling a lot for the purpose of my classes, like to Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai, right? So many places across India I traveled for my classes, Delhi and all, right? So that was all my direction. And then finally destination. Okay, that has been my career path. Right? That has been my career path, right? So that's a strategy. Like say for an organization, one day, Steve Jobs or Mr. The what do you say, the Tesla owner would have thought of, no, what we need to have the electric cars. So that was the image. Based on the image, they started with the direction, and based on the direction, ultimately you would also reach your destination. One of the latest, what do you say, happening example towards strategy could be the EVs. Right? What is EVs? It is the electric vehicles. Oh my God. Like you see these cyber trucks and all, it's like a crazy thing of a automobile. Like, those of you who are automobile enthusiasts, like, crazy about vehicles and, cars and all. It's like a different, if you see a Tesla car or a cyber truck, it's a different piece of art, I think, literally over there. Okay. And so electric vehicles. Right. So, like once upon a time, ATMs were so much in the, like, something new. Today, ATMs, I think to some extent, they've become extinct. Next thing to become, they've not extinct, but they've lost their relevance. Though there are ATMs, but इतना जो पहले ATM का importance था, अब वो नहीं रहा है. वैसे ही किसका हालत होगा? Same like that, with whose situation will be of the not immediate future, but 10, 15, 20 years down the line, the same situation will be for the petrol pump, for the petrol station, for the gas station, petrol, diesel. You know why? Because now you might have already seen that in societies also, at many other places also, there are these charging stations. एक तो चार्जिंग स्टेशन का भी नया ट्रेंड है, और दूसरा ट्रेंड है वो स्वैपिंग ऑफ द बैटरीज. You can't wait for your battery to recharge, so that is why you just take up a charged battery from there, and your existing battery, you leave it over there. Isn't this something very new? Don't you think? Like, can you imagine a place like where there won't be petrol stations required anymore? Right? Like there would be signals in the air. There will be air traffic coming in the future. Okay, there would be heli taxi to drop you from the airport to the office or something like that. Instead of a Zomato, Swiggy, and all of those people coming on the bikes, there will be drones coming to your place to deliver your packet of bread or the milk packet over there. Right? So this is, already, like yesterday I was seeing the weather update on the TV. I think it was Aaj Tak channel which was going on. And then, कि लखनऊ का तापमान ये है, or I don't know, दिल्ली का तापमान ये है. There was a lady who was in a pink, like a dress, and then I somehow, I was just passing from my living room, and I said, yeah, this, like she looked quite real, but I said, yeah, like ये रियल लेडी नहीं है, ये कुछ तो है. तो देन माय सन टोल्ड मी कि मॉम ये एआई है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस है. तो इट्स लाइक ओ माय गॉड, इवन एन आज तक चैनल, they don't have an auntie standing over there wearing her heels and telling us now कि ओ दिल्ली का तापमान ये है या लखनऊ का तापमान ये है. अब it's the AI. It looks like, you might have seen that movie, Kriti Sanon movie. You saw? मूवी तो पूरा अपना फुल ऑन ऑल लेटेस्ट I've seen. That शाहिद कपूर के साथ that movie, तेरी बातों में ऐसा उलझा जिया. Yeah, so that movie where that Kriti Sanon is actually Robo, no, Sifra or Sirfa, something like that. Her name is. Okay, so see, even the movies have started being developing towards that. Okay, so obviously it's the new, the AI and machine learning and blockchain and robotic process automation and all of that. Okay, right. So, anyways, what is all of this? This is why, because you are changing. And continuously there has been a change. And where does the change come from? It comes from your strategy. Where does the strategy come from? From your strategic intent. Based on your strategic intent, you have your vision, mission, goals, objectives, and the value. Right? Clear, everyone? Let us now come to the term strategy. Right? So, in the context of business, the application of the term strategy relates to the way the business decides. Right? So, now you have the management to decide. You know that. And what does the business decide? To respond. कि भी रिएक्ट करना पड़ेगा ना. जैसे हाथ पे हाथ डाल के अभी अभी मच्छर काटा है तो अभी मतलब खुजली तो करना पड़ेगा ना. नहीं करते हो? Seriously, tell me the truth. If a mosquito bites, now you have to respond to it, no? You say, ma'am, either you respond or before it bites only you know, what do you say? You try to hit it with the bat or something. But now say it's already bitten you. So now that bump thing has come over there and now you will have to, do something, no? So then what you do? You respond to the situation. And now further mosquito should not bite you. So that is why when these small kids, they go for playing, their mother puts them some mosquito repellent badge or a badge or some particular tag or some some cream or something is put on them, so that they are saved from the mosquitoes over there. So even to save, you put down that good night and all out. So even that's a strategy to save yourself from mosquitoes and dengue and all of that. Okay, so respond to dynamic and often the hostile external forces. Hostile. What do you mean by hostile? Unfriendly, which are not in your favor. Which is not everything goody good, rosy rose, pinky rose for you. It's not like that. It's hostile external forces while pursuing their vision, mission, and ultimate objective. It reminds me, like you ही चला चल रही, you ही चला चल रही अपनी दुनिया, that type. Okay, you respond to dynamic and often the hostile external forces. You're responding. हाथ पे हाथ डाल के, putting, crossing your hands, you're not sitting, you're responding to the hostile, to the dynamic external forces while you continue to achieve your vision, mission, and your ultimate objectives. Everybody, do you follow this? It is you responding to the dynamic and the hostile external forces while you continue to pursue your vision, mission, and your ultimate objectives. Right? While you continue to pursue your vision, mission, and your ultimate objectives. Okay. The very incorporation of the idea of strategy into business organization is intended to unravel the complexity. इतना आसान नहीं है business करना. You see, that they say out of every 10,000 startups, there are few which get listed, just a few, like single or double digit number which get listed over there. Not that every startup is successful. There are, like they say, that when the bulb was invented, 19 so many times failed, 9,000 sometimes, but then finally invented the bulb. Right? So what does it say? Unravel the complexity and reduce the uncertainty caused by changes in the environment. Right? So unravel. Right? So what you're doing, you're trying to handle the complexity and you can't completely eliminate, but you're trying to reduce the uncertainty. That means what you're trying to do, try to be future ready. Right? Caused by changes in the environment. And so what does it say? Idea of strategy into business organization is to unravel the complexity, reduce the uncertainty caused by the changes in the environment. And strategy seeks to relate the goals of the organization कि जो भी आपका लक्ष्य है to the means of achieving them. Okay, what you want to achieve and how you will achieve. Strategy is building that together, bringing that together. Right? Okay, goals and how you achieve those goals is coming together through the strategy. Right? So this is my goal and I want to achieve this goal, right? So this is the goal and this goal you want to achieve. So to achieve the goal, what is required is the strategy. To achieve the goal, what is required is the strategy. Okay, it is the game plan, right, that management of the business uses. Who uses it? The management, right? We've already discussed about the term management, right, that the management of the business uses to take market position, conduct its operation, attract and satisfy customers, compete successfully, and achieve organizational objectives. And so obviously later on we are going to talk about the organization objectives also. And so what does it say? It is the game plan of the management, yes, which management uses in a business to take the market position, to be number one, maybe, right, to conduct its operation, attract and satisfy the customers, right, then compete successfully and achieve the organizational objectives, right? Like if you see Elon Musk, right, does he have a particular market position? Yes. Do they accordingly conduct their operation, attract and satisfy customers? Yes. Compete successfully and achieve the organizational objectives also. Right? So strategy is a game plan. Right. So to the extent the term strategy is associated with unified design and action. Right. So it is the design, and after the design, you can putting that design into implementation, which is action for achieving your major goals. And so again, you say strategy is something which is goal oriented. You're doing certain actions to achieve your goals, right? Gaining command over the situation with a long range perspective and secure a critically advantageous position that is not sitting hand on hand. Its implication for corporate functioning are obvious. Right? So these are some multiple definitions of strategy that they have given. Now this is an important one. We may define the term strategy as, right? So itna sara variation karke finally they reach to one definition. It is the long range blueprint. And okay, 10 years down the line, how do you see yourself? What do you think? Which year are we today? And what do you think 10 years down the line? I can remember myself, I used to think of this in 2012 or something, that how life will be in 22. Then I think how it will be in 32. So it's a long range blueprint. And I certainly believe that every 10 years, life undergoes a complete change. It's one circle of life which gets over. Okay, right. So you could say every 5 years, whatever, but just more, on a gross basis. Okay, right. So a long range blueprint. Now, how long it is, we never know. It could be at least 3, 5, 10 years or something of an organization desired image, direction, and destination. IDD. Right. So long range blueprint. Right. So what does it say? It's a long range blueprint. Right, long range blueprint. So L is LRB, right? It's the long range. It's the range long range blueprint of the organization's desired image, direction, right? Image, direction, and destination. Right? Image, direction, and destination, which is your IDD. Right? So long range blueprint for the desired image, direction, and destination of an organization. Right? So strategy is a long range blueprint, like architects, right? Obviously before they construct the building, they will prepare the blueprint, right? Regarding, like even if you see a temple being constructed, before the actual temple is constructed, first they prepare the layout. Or even in Pune, or where in Maharashtra, where there are even in other states, there might be a lot of Ganpati pandals. So obviously before the actual Ganpati particular, the Ganesh God, Lord Ganesha, the setup of the decor is made, first they have the blueprint of the same. Right? So it's the long range blueprint of the organization's desired image, direction, and destination. That is, what does it say? What it wants to be. So what is the first one we have over there? What it wants to be. and what it wants to be, then what it wants to do, right? What it wants to do, what it wants to be, what it wants to do. Then after that, how it wants to do things, right? So how it wants to do the things, and then after that, where it wants to go, right? So last one is where it wants to go. Right? So what it wants to be, what it wants to do, how it wants to do, and where it wants to go. What it wants to be, है ना? What it wants to do, then how it wants to do, and where it wants to go. तो ये तो सारा want ही है. This all is the want only. Here it is what, how, where. What it wants to be, what it wants to do, how it wants to do, and where it wants to go. Did you notice that? What it wants to, what does it say? What it wants to be. For what you want to be, you have to do. So for that, what it wants to do. Then if you want to do it, how you want to do. And how you want to do, if you are doing it, where you want to go. Algebra. Algebra and strategic management. What is the algebra over there? What it wants to be. To be, you have to do. So what it wants to do. If you want to do, how it wants to do. And by doing it, where you want to go. Will you try writing it in your notebook? Everyone? Yes, says try karo. 1, 2, 3, 4. Writing it. Say the entire thing and just write these alphabets in your notebook. I'll give you 1 minute time. Try saying it and writing it like how I did it. What it wants to be. To be, you have to what it wants to do. To do, how you want to do. And once you do, where you want to go. See if you can write it without looking at the screen. If you can write it. Once you are done, you can write yes on the chat, done on the chat box so that I come to know. Done? Okay. Long range blueprint of the organization's desired image, direction, destination. That means what it wants to be what it wants to do how you want to do, and once you do, where you want to go. Where you want to go. Does it work good for everyone? Okay, that is what it wants to be, what it wants to do, how it wants to do, and where it wants to go. And following are some other important definitions. So, oh my God, today's day is filled with definitions. Right? But this is one of the most important definitions. So let us mark it with a 5-star. It is a long range blueprint of an organization desired image, direction, and destination. That is what it wants to be, what it wants to do, how it wants to do, and where it wants to go. Right? Clear, everyone? Has everyone who is listening to me right now? Tell me yes. If you say yes, you clear the exam. You'll say, ma'am, blackmailing. No blackmail, no whitemail. You're right. Yeah, good job. Okay, right. Another uncle, Ensoff uncle and Gluick uncle. There are so many uncles in this book. I'm like, oh my God, so many uncles sitting in this book. Okay, might be auntie also, but here this William looks like an uncle. Okay, it's a common thread among the organization activity. है ना वो बोलते हैं जैसे मोती सारे मोती के बीच में से the thread going amongst all the pearls. It's the same. So it's the common thread among the organization activities and product markets that define the essential nature of the business that the organization has or plan to be in the future. And so what business the organization has or plan to have in the future, it is the common thread. And second, it's a unified, comprehensive, integrated plan designed to assure that the basic objectives of the enterprise are achieved. So it's a plan to ensure that the basic objectives of the enterprise are achieved. and a plan to ensure that the basic objectives of the enterprise are achieved. Okay, right. So that is first the few definitions of the term strategy. Then strategy is consciously considered and flexibly designed. Obviously, as I told you, change is the only constant. So it is consciously, hawe mein nahi, it's not in the air. It's consciously, thoughtfully, brainstorming done, and then consciously considered, flexibly designed. It's scheme of corporate intent and action. Right? So first there has to be intent, then there will be the action. And बहुत बार हम लोग बोलते हैं कि unless and until you don't have the desire to study, how you can sit for studies? First, that thought should come to your mind. No, you say, ma'am, thought comes to my mind Monday before the exam. That day, my intent is very strong. So then that's the problem. Now, your intent has to be very strong 6 months before the exam. Okay. And so intent and action to mobilize the resources. Right? Direct human effort and behavior, handle events and problems, to perceive and utilize opportunities, meet challenges and threat for corporate survival and success. What they do, different author books they pick up together and they make these put these different definitions over there. Its strategy is consciously considered. So very consciously, CC, consciously considered, and FD, flexibly designed. What is it? It's a consciously considered and flexibly designed scheme of what? Of corporate intent and action. Why corporate intent and action? To mobilize resources, to direct human effort and behavior. Okay, effort bhi hona chahiye, but the approach, attitude should also be right. To handle events and problems, to perceive and utilize the opportunity, to meet challenges, and also to threats for corporate survival and success. Right? So it's consciously considered and flexibly designed scheme of corporate intent. Okay. Then strategy is meant to of the organization for a sense of a dynamic direction, focus, and cohesiveness. Right? So direction, right? So again, in what we said, IDD, image, direction, destination. So you're also direction, then focus. Okay, do you want to go into multiple business or just focus on one particular product? And cohesiveness. Cohesiveness, bringing parts together. It's like solving a jigsaw puzzle. And you need to put all the pieces at their right place. Right? Objectives and goals. So obviously ये strategy किस basis पे बनती है? On what basis is the strategy based? On the basis of the objectives and goals. Are essential to give a direction to the business, but they do not fill in the need alone. Just if you have an objective and a basis, that will not say that fulfill the need of your business. Right? Strategy provides an integrated framework of the top management. Obviously, strategy is something related to the top management for to search for, evaluate, and exploit beneficial opportunities. Right? So identify new opportunities. So if you might have seen some episodes of the Shark Tank, you might have seen so many beneficial opportunities and new ideas coming up over there. Like, people becoming so health conscious. That is why so many of the healthy food substitutes over there. Right? So what is that? Exploit the beneficial opportunities. Like now, I do earlier, like sugar. I only knew about our normal sugar, that crystal like sugar, and jaggery. I think these were the two main sources of sugar. But today, I happened to like few days back, I happened to go to the departmental store. I saw over there coconut sugar. And then after coconut sugar, there is also date powder. And why? Because they are sugar substitutes. These are the natural sugar substitutes over there. Right? Why they have started? Like, I think there is some particular website called a Slurp, SLURRP. Then there is some another one which I forgot the name, but the Slurp I remember, where they have the date powder and the coconut sugar and all of that. Why they decided that they need to launch these products? Like you see, during this COVID times, there are these new Ayurvedic brands which have come up all of a sudden. Like there is one TAC, and the TAC is what? The Ayurveda company, TAC. And that brand is all of a sudden, like obviously there has always been the Lakme and L'Oreal and Maybelline and Color Bar and La Revlon, so many of those chemical ingredient products. But now you see the Mama Earth. And the other day, I have Daughter Earth also. It's like, oh my God. Like, there's Mama Earth. Have you heard about Daughter Earth? You search on Google, you'll find Daughter Earth also. It's like, oh my God, every time I read something, I see something, it's like something new over there. There's a Mama Earth, now there is a Daughter Earth, and then after that there's this Forest Essential, then there is this Baby Forest or something. So some new type of products and products keep on coming in the market. Why? Because they are exploring the beneficial opportunities, rather exploiting them. and trying to make the money. Okay, and exploiting the beneficial opportunities to perceive and to meet potential threats and crisis. Right? So nowadays, if you see in the big metros and everything, this Ola, Uber during the peak hours, they are in short supply. And even the Tata Blue, the electric cars, they are always booked in advance. They're always like you book your slot in advance, then it is available for you. Otherwise, not available. It's obviously now this blue car coming in and all of that, this Ola Uber coming in. What have they done? They've exploited the beneficial opportunities. They've exploited the beneficial opportunities to perceive and meet the potential threats and crises. Right? So potential threats and whatever, because if you don't update to a new business or you don't identify new business opportunities, you can't fill your stomach. You have to work, no? To bread and butter is required. Okay, to make full use of the resources and strengths and to offset the corporate weakness. Right? So that is so many good written about strategy over there. Right, that it gives a dynamic direction, focus, and the cohesiveness to the organization. Objectives are required, but that itself is not alone. So, strategy provides an integrated framework to the top management. Why? To evaluate and exploit the beneficial opportunities. So, evaluate and exploit. Right, to perceive and meet the potential threats and crises, make full use of the resources and strengths, and to offset the corporate weaknesses. Right, so they've identified. Okay, now even the joint families since a few decades they are not there in India. You have nuclear families, and you have lot of aging population now coming up in the future years in India. Right, already countries abroad they are already having a lot of aging population. Right now, India, the average age of the population is very young, but going down the line the population is declining, and then after that there will be more of the aging population. So for the aging population, obviously more of the medical health and also the healthcare facilities and assisted living will be required. Right? Assisted living, like like the old age care homes, like the senior citizen living homes will be required. Right? So that's a business opportunity, right? That is the exploit the beneficial opportunity. Like you see, many of the corporates nowadays they are working from these smart working places. Right? Like you have these we work and smart works and any others. Any other? Okay, nowadays you don't need to own an office, right? You just take a particular cabin or a particular, what do you say, entire cubicles, office cabins on rent, and then you just come and use it as an office for yourself. It's all taken care of. Right? So that's again a new style of doing the business, right? So that's again the exploiting the beneficial opportunities, potential threats and crises, make full use of the resources and to offset the corporate weaknesses. However, whatever said, कि तुम बोलोगे हमारा स्ट्रैटेजी एकदम खतरनाक है, मतलब we have an absolutely dashing strategy. It's saying that is not a substitute for having a good management. That you say, oh, ekdam matlab jhakkas idea, like I have a mind blowing idea in my mind, but you don't have the management for that. No use. What did we say? It has to come together. Your strategy and your management. Now the merger of the two, the marriage of the two has to happen. And we said no, because only strategy, no. Only management, no. Strategic management. That is how your subject comes into picture. Okay. It must be recognized that strategy can never be perfect. Obviously. How can a strategy be perfect? It can never. They've not even said sometimes it can never be perfect, flawless, and optimal. And there is no only one way, and it is just one of the best ways. Okay, it is the very nature of strategy that it should be flexible and pragmatic. Right, to take care of sudden emergencies. Classic example would be COVID-19, sudden emergency, right? Pressures and avoid failures and frustration. Right? In a sound strategy, allowances are made for possible miscalculations and unanticipated events also. Right? So pause this. Again, this could be a question in your exam. Okay, pause. Yes, strategy can never be perfect, flawless, and optimal. Discuss. Right? Why? Because it's in the very nature of strategy that it should be flexible and pragmatic to take care of the sudden emergencies, the pressures, and avoid failures and frustration. Right? Sudden emergencies, pressures, and to avoid failures and frustration. Right? And in a sound strategy, there is always an allowance made for possible miscalculation and the unanticipated events. Right? So you always keep that backup plan with you. Okay, oh, I knew that this could go wrong. That way. And always keep various allowances for the possible miscalculations and the unanticipated effects. Okay, right. And in the large organization, huge, jumbo, elephant type of organization, strategies are formulated at Right? So what are the three levels at which the strategies are formulated in an organization? One, the corporate level. And then after the corporate level, the divisional level. And after the divisional level, you have the functional level. Right? So what are the three levels at which strategies are formulated in an organization? Corporate level, divisional level, and the functional level. Right? So say the company, like, it was a failed venture, but at one point of time, Mr. Ratan Tata decided that he announced at one of the AGM of the company that the company needs to make such a car which will be affordable to the common man. And that is why we will come up with a car which will be priced at 1 lakh rupee. And that is how came into existence. Have you seen that car ever? Which car am I talking about? Nano. Okay, Nano. Okay, right. But now Nano gone. No, the entire like it never saw the future. Right. Okay. Right. So yeah. Then rather than Nano, I think that Alto and Ignis and those all are doing better. And in the small varieties, I think Alto and Ignis and I10. I think Wagonar. I don't know whether Wagonar is still there. Even now, is it Santro? Once upon a time, there used to be the Hyundai Santro. Now I think that Santro is only replaced by that i10, i20. I thought i30, i40 will also come, but only they stopped at i10, i20. Okay, right. So, anyways, I'm not making any cars, but yeah, I'm just discussing. Okay, right. So, yeah, we are talking about the corporate level. Right. So, at the organization top management level, it was decided that we will make a car at 1 lakh rupee. Now, if you want to make a car at 1 lakh rupee, you have to put all your departments to task, right? All your divisions in the organization, right? So production department, R&D department, finance department, inventory, all departments are put at task. And then at the functional level also, at the process level, business process level also, the strategy needs to be executed. Right? The strategy needs to be executed. Like say example, like I decide that I want to start teaching inter SM also. Example. So that's a decision which I have taken. Okay, so if I take this decision, then at the divisional level, obviously my marketing team, my book, what do you say, the people who help me with the book editing, then my marketing team, all of them, they help me with the further part, right? For the advertisement of the class, for the development of the content and all of that, right? So that is the divisional level. And then at the functional level, when students enroll for the class, then the admissions are to be taken, the serial keys are to be provided, the books are to be dispatched. So see, one simple decision that I took, that I want to teach inter-SM. Or, regularly also, if I say that, what you say, if I say that, oh, now I want to take a final marathon batch or an inter fast track batch. So that's a decision which is taken at the corporate level, then functional level, and then the divisional level and at the functional level. Okay. MG Compact is similar to Nano, a small size car. Oh, I don't know what is the price range of MG Compact. I have just seen that MG ka, that big vehicle which almost is like of the size of an elephant. I forgot the name of that car. Morris garage car. I forgot the name, but yeah, some big elephant type. Like even though if you open the door, it's like heavy and bulky door of that car. Okay, right. So yeah, for yes, Gloucester, I think. Yeah, no, it was not Gloucester. I don't remember some other name. If you take probably Hector, exactly. Hector. Yeah, Hector. Correct. It was Hector. Yeah, MG Hector. It's like a my God, the door is like beautiful, heavy, It's like I literally got the sense of an elephant, like I don't know. Okay, right. So yeah. It's the corporate level, the divisional level, and the functional level. So corporate level, divisional level, and the functional level. Okay. Now, what does it say? Corporate strategy, जो top level है, those are decided by the top manager. वो तो हमने already बोल दिया. That we've already said. Such strategies include the determination of the plans for expansion and growth, right? Vertical, horizontal integration, right? Vertical and horizontal. So vertical, you have the backward and the forward integration. That what you want to get into. Say you're making a product, you also want to start. So what do you say? Making the raw material in house, or you want to do the distribution in house. Then that is backward and forward integration, right? Or you want to go into some other lines of business, like say you're making refrigerators, now you also want to start making washing machines and hair dryers, so that is horizontal integration, right? So this all will come in chapter number 4, wherein we talk about the strategic choices. Okay, so expansion and growth, vertical, horizontal integration, diversification, takeovers and merger. Like diversification ka example na, so there can't be a better example than Tata. Can you tell me the different variety of things or business that Tata is into? Yes, can anybody tell me Tata? When the moment you listen to Tata, what all comes to your mind? Tata? Anything that comes to your mind? Okay, Tata Consultancy Services. Okay. Yes, TCS. Good job. Tata Motors. Okay. Tata Motors. Oh, yes, they have Tanera, which is their sari brand. Okay. Right. Then they have the Tanishq. Then in Tanishq also, they have the Mia, which is like I think some 14 carat. Then some Carat Lane, which is online and more office wear. Then they have something Zoya, which is high end jewelry. Right. So yeah, then they have the Titan, right? Titan over there. Then after that, they've also, they have the Vistara Airlines, right? Then they've also acquired the Air India, so they are also into the airline business. I think Tata Steel, that part of their business they've sold off or something like that. But look into the verticals, the different business lines that they are into. Like even if you look into Reliance, right? Reliance and it's so many varieties of business. So what is that? That is diversification and the diversification, takeovers and merger. Right? So, like Facebook acquiring WhatsApp, that was a takeover or merger, the Vodafone Idea merger. Right? Mergers, new investment, divestment areas, R&D projects, and so on. Right? So these are the corporate strategies wherein they decide upon all these strategic options. Okay, whether to go for expansion, whether to go into other lines of business or existing business only to grow. Then vertical, horizontal integration, diversification, takeover, merger, new investment, divestment, R&D. So all this will come in chapter number 4. Okay, these corporate wide strategies need to be operationalized. क्या मस्त लिखते हैं कि ये जो corporate wide strategies है, to put them into action, to turn them into reality, they should be operationalized by who? The DNF, the divisional and the functional strategies regarding the product line, production volume, quality ranges, prices, product promotion, market penetration, purchasing sources, development, and the right. So obviously, to put strategy, a corporate strategy into execution, it has to be operationalized by the divisional and the functional strategy. Right. So here we study about the 3 levels of the strategic decision making. Right. Strategic decisions could be taken at the corporate strategy, divisional strategy, and the functional strategy. Right. So first is corporate strategy by the top manager, and below them you have the divisional and the functional strategy. Right. You have the divisional and the functional strategy. Okay. Right. So far we've not discussed anything very big. We've just discussed the meaning, two senses of the term management. Then after that, to management means to make things happen, and then after that, the strategy to respond to dynamic and often the hostile external forces while pursuing. And then the very important definition, it's a long range blueprint of an organization desired image, direction and destination. Okay, what is the difference between divisional and functional? Okay, right. So divisional and functional we can distinguish between as, like divisions. You have the production department, you have the marketing department, the sales department in an organization, and now under the production department you have the different functions happening over there. Right. So you have the corporate level, then under the corporate level you have the different division, and under the divisions you have the different functions. Okay, like say under the corporate you have the accounting function. Now under the accounting function you have the disbursement function, wherein you make all the payment. Then you have the payroll function, wherein you process the salary, like that. Right. So this accounts is the division, and then these are the functions performed under the accounts department. Here. So this is corporate, this is divisional, and then this is functional level management. Okay, right. So that's our first 2 pages of the book. And now coming to one of the 5-star discussion, right? So 5-star, twinkle, twinkle, little star. Very important question over there. कि strategy, and strategy is थोड़ा है, थोड़े की है. Okay, it is partly proactive and partly reactive. Strategy of a company क्या बोलते हैं? कभी खुशी कभी गम. No, थोड़ा है थोड़े की जरूरत है. I think that fits better. And okay, it is partly proactive and partly reactive. Partly reactive. Proactive can also be called as your planned strategy. And reactive could also be called as your adapted or your adaptive strategy. And adaptive or your reactive strategy. And that is the second part. And so it says strategy is partly proactive and partly reactive. Like example, of partly proactive and partly reactive. Simple example we can take of your exams. Okay, when you start preparing for your exams, you start preparing your plan and you start studying as per your plan. So that means these actions you've initiated on your own. So that is proactive. Then all of a sudden you fell ill. Now, this you had not planned. Okay, oh, after studying for 15 days, I will fall ill. Okay, but it happened. All of a sudden, some viral infection, 2 days, you had to take some, what do you say, some saline water, something like that. You could not study completely, bedridden, antibiotics, and all of that. Situation became very bad. So now, all of a sudden, all the plan that you had made for your study, okay, by so and so date, I will finish studying so much, all of that could not be achieved. It was an unsudden event, an unsudden, unplanned, what do you say, sorry, sudden and unplanned event. And so now what you need to do accordingly, then originally you had decided that you will study for 6 or 8 hours every day. Now to cope up with your lack of studies for those few days when you were not well, now you would decide to increase your study hours by 12 hours. Or then you decide that, oh, instead of doing so much of the one more reference book, now I just study from two reference books, something like that. And so partly proactive and partly reactive. Okay, on your own, you have decided some particular strategy. Like when you're going to go for trekking, you've already prepared. And okay, this is how how you are going to reach at so much of distance you're going to travel every day. And then this is how in 15 days or 22 days you'll complete your trip or so. This is what you've planned. But all of a sudden there was a hailstorm. All of a sudden there was a landslide. All of a sudden something happened over there, and that is why that, or some particular military disturbance happened. That is why you had to wait for a few days, or you had to take a different route. No, this you had not originally planned. But because based on the sudden changes which happened, something which was unplanned, you had to respond to that. Right? So that is called as your reactive strategy. And so strategy is always a put together of the proactive and the reactive elements. Right? So proactive actions on the part of the manager, okay, which is planned to improve the company's market position and financial performance. Right? So market to be now on, try to be as much on the top as possible and become financially healthy, financial performance, and react to unanticipated development. And unanticipated, that is, you had not predicted कि ऐसा कुछ होगा. Okay, something like that will happen. And fresh market conditions in a dynamic business environment. Right? So on your part, you're making an effort continuously to improve your market position and your financial performance. But at the same time, you also have to handle the unanticipated developments and the fresh market condition in a dynamic business environment. Right? So what does it say? Proactive actions are on the part of the managers to improve the company's market position and the financial performance, and reactive is to respond to the unanticipated developments and the fresh market conditions in a dynamic business environment. Right. So, in other words, a company uses both proactive and reactive strategies to cope up with the uncertain business environment. क्योंकि वो बोलते हैं ना, कल क्या होगा किसने देखा? And what is going to happen tomorrow, you don't know, because there is uncertainty associated, right? So uncertain business environment, like you are doing your business normally, all of a sudden a competitor comes up. So even you doing nothing, the business is affected, the market is affecting you. And so that's the uncertain business environment, right? So proactive strategy is the planned strategy. Proactive is your PP. Proactive is the planned strategy, whereas your reactive strategy is RA. It is the adaptive reaction to the changed circumstances. So that's what we've written over here. Proactive strategy is your planned strategy, whereas reactive strategy is your adaptive strategy to the unplanned circumstances, to the changing circumstances. Right, to the changing circumstances, right? So company experiences, right, know-how, resources, strengths, weaknesses, competition, capability. Then there are some elements of strategy which you abandon, which you decide not to take it further. Like say Tata Nano, they discontinued. Then there is some proactive strategy element, which is planned strategy. Then new initiative plus ongoing strategy elements continued from the prior period. Plus your adaptive reaction to changing circumstances, which is your reactive strategy element, and that gives rise to the actual strategy of the company. Right, the latest version of the company is proactive plus reactive is equal to the actual strategy of the company, and a proactive plus reactive is equal to the actual strategy of the company. Right, as is evident from the figure, a company's current strategy. Right, so whatever is the current strategy, the actual strategy, you call it the actual, you call it the current, you call it the latest, and the latest strategy of the company, right, comes from the pre-initiated action. So whatever has been decided so far, and as approaches that are working well enough to merit continuation. Right? So जो जैसे चल रहा है, that too you continue, as well as newly initiated managerial decision, that is to get into a new line of business and action that strengthen the company's overall position and performance. Right, so previously initiated action plus the newly initiated managerial decision. Right, so that is one part, which is your proactive part. And then proactive part, the strategy partly is deliberate and proactive, standing as the product of the management's analysis and strategic thinking about the company's situation and its conclusion about how to position the company in the marketplace and tackle the place of for competing the buyer's patronage. Okay, so that's goody good English. Okay, right, then not every strategic move is the result of the proactive plan. So every move cannot be anticipated. Like, when you're playing a cricket match, partly it can be proactive. Okay, you do a lot of practice, but some part of it you have to decide how you're going to play the ball at that moment only. So it says everything is not a part of the proactive planning and deliberate management design. Things happen that cannot be fully anticipated or planned. Right? So there are certain things like, the one of the examples we take of the Olympics, the weight exceeding by some 100 or 150 or 200 gram, and all of a sudden disqualified from the Olympics, and then not disqualified from even getting a silver medal or something, which is something so unheard of. Like how do you expect like something like that happening? Right? So obviously the strategy of the particular, what do you say, the sports person is to win the medal. But then it was proactive, but then something all of a sudden happened over there, right? So that is why abandoned or something, right? So not every strategic move is the result of the proactive planning and the deliberate management design. Things happen, right? Can you tell me about things that happen that cannot be fully anticipated or planned for? Like, had it been planned that the Ukraine-Russia war will happen, right? Or the 9/11 right, attack will happen, or COVID-19 will happen, right? Or some terror attack will happen, or some tsunami will happen. No, it was not planned for. And it's not like, okay, yeah, in 2020 there will be lockdown everywhere. No, it was not planned for. Right, when market and competitive conditions take an unexpected turn. So what does it say? Things don't happen, cannot be full, things happen that cannot be fully anticipated. Things take an unexpected turn, or some aspect of the company strategy hits a stone wall. And like, you launch a new product and it becomes a complete failure. Right? So it hits a stone wall. Some kind of strategic reaction or adjustment is required. Like, when these EV cars came, from of the EV car, the battery, they started catching fire. They say, oh my God. And a human life, and invaluable, that started getting lost because of that. Car burning, okay, but human being, what about them? So what does it say? It backfired. So obviously reaction or adjustment is required. They had to do more R&D before launching of the EV cars. It's partially a company's strategy is always developed as a reasoned response to unforeseen developments in the business environment as well as the situation within the firm. Why they are putting the cashew nuts in the good day, or why they are saying that these are the oat biscuit and these are the quinoa biscuit? But because they know that people don't want to eat the maida. Maida? Maida? Refined flour? It's wheat atta only, but it's very fine. They say people you have to avoid. They say all white things you have to avoid. I mean, you have to avoid salt, you have to avoid sugar, you have to avoid the rice, everything which is white. They say you have to avoid. You say, ma'am, rice, how I can avoid, ma'am, how I can survive. I'm saying what people say. You don't need to do that. Okay, right. But yeah, that's the reason, no? Because people are moving away from they don't want preservatives, they don't want chemical. You see so many shampoos coming nowadays which are like, what do you say, paraben free and sulfate free. Why all of a sudden? Why Patanjali going into crores and crores of business? Because people are moving, wanting to move towards Ayurveda and wanting to move, right? So that's the business opportunity over there, right? So unforeseen developments, right? In the business environment, you see, oh my God, it's that toothpaste also. There's so much variety. Sometimes in the toothpaste, see, one you have Colgate, then you have Colgate Ved Shakti, then you have Colgate Max Fresh. Then I think in Colgate, sometimes they put the charcoal, sometimes they put the salt, sometimes they put the clove. Keep on putting same in that Colgate. Sometimes white color, sometimes brown, sometimes red color, blue color, different. And then Colgate, Close Up, Sensodyne, Pepsodent, all these. Right? You continue to see market evolving over a period of time, right? You continue to see them, that they keep on adding something new. In between, the trend came that everything charcoal. Now, the biggest, what you say, irony of it, that to become fair, you have to apply something which is black. And to become Gora, you have to apply the Kala charcoal mask. And the charcoal mask. All of a sudden, there has been a lot of demand for beauty cream for men. And all of a sudden, there is this kind of fair and lovely, which has now become fair and glow or something like that, because they say there should be no racial discrimination. They are continuously, oh yeah, I forgot Vico, Vajradanti, they were taken Alia Bhatt as their brand ambassador. So even if you analyze this one particular, what do you say, toothpaste industry, oh my God. One of the times, I don't remember which, what do you say, toothpaste company it was, but they were thinking of so many strategies of how to increase their product sales. What marketing, what advertisement, what developments in the product to do, kya kare, kaise kare, how to increase the sales of the product. One of the employee of the company came up with an idea that if this is your toothpaste, what do you say, the mouth where the toothpaste comes out, you just increase the circumference of that. And with that, their sales increased. Just with that. No other marketing, no other strategy, nothing required. Just increase the size of that particular circle over there from where the paste comes out, and the sales increased. Because you will take the same amount of paste which for years you've been taking on your paste, right? You won't look into the diameter over there. Okay, so obviously that has been a very, what do you say, brainy strategy over there. Right? Brainy strategy. Okay. And the clock tells me that it is 11:30. So it's time for us to take a break. And then we take a break right now. And after the break, we continue with our discussion regarding the strategic management. Right. So we meet again at 12, and then we have our class from 12 to 2. Right. So first 2 hours, half an hour break, and then again a 2-hour class. Okay. Right. So see you all after the break. Okay.